Hello and welcome back to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 13, episode 2, and today we're back with Chelsea for our first European game of the season and a big trip away to Liverpool, a side expected to be right up there in the title race and have been in the top 2 for each of the last 4 Premier League seasons, including one title. But as you can see, we've got off to the perfect start. And that's despite playing away at Manchester City. The other 4 games you'd probably expect us to win, but it has been a really good start. The results are good, some of the football is scintillating. We still got a little problem with killing teams off, particularly some of the smaller sides where they're sitting men behind the ball. And we've still got this weird manager performance criticism about being unlikely to win silverware. We've come in, we've played 5 games and we've won them all. I don't know what more we can do. But today, our first home game in the Europa League is against Slovan Bratislava. Certainly not one of the biggest names in the world, and we've got a pretty friendly group on paper. Hibernian, who are a side doing pretty well in this series. They've been 2nd or 3rd in the league every single year for the last 6 or 7, and they've got lots of very good players. And then there's the young boys over in Switzerland. Glenn Stevens is there, who of course those who follow the Burnley stream series or were watching with Burnley earlier in this save will know very well. There's also an experienced Kyle Walker-Peters among others. So a few names that you probably recognise, but Glenn Stevens definitely the star. So what that means is we've got a good Europa League group. We should be able to rest people and get through. We've got a very experienced squad. As we mentioned, a lot of over 32s, and we need to give them rest if they're going to be at their best in the league. So this gives us an opportunity to do so. Due to injuries today, there's a few we're not able to do that with, but generally, for the early kickoff, we're looking in pretty good shape. So if we have a quick look at the schedule quickly, while we do that, if you are looking forward to this one, please do put a thumbs up on it and subscribe down below for daily FM20 content and a weekly live stream as well. But we have got to focus on a lot today. So you can see where the main sort of threat has come. Against those mid-table sides, we've not really put them away. So you saw the first game with Bournemouth. We then won 2-0 at home to Villa. Gross and Rashford with a penalty, both in the last 20 minutes. At home to Charlton, our former club, we absolutely wiped the floor with them. Still a few players there we recognised. Arezo was still up front, a bit of a hero in years gone by. But a fatty brace including 2 penalties. Gross and Yepes on his return got the goals for us. Away at City, it was the epic counter-attacking display. We sat back, we invited pressure for 80 minutes. And then off the bench, Rashford came, got a penalty and scored. Zenit Gross, when they were chasing the game at 1-0, on the break and scored. A masterclass on the road, to be brutally honest. But then at home to Stoke, we were very lucky to get a win. We relied on Rashford again. He came off the bench and scored an absolute screamer. It was a brilliant strike. He created it on his own and he scored it on his own. Yepes got a good goal as well. He's coming into form since his injury. He didn't play in that first game, but now he looks one of our star midfielders. So him, Andrin and Harper are the main 3 now. And one of them has got to be involved in the squad today because we're a bit short of players. So if we go into this, we are heavy favourites at home. We've got Abdallah back from injury, so he's going to play the first half. And then we've got a couple on the bench if needed. I've also put a few of the under-23s in, so Cotton, Woodman and Baker, all 2-star ability, average players. But aside from that, we have rotated the entire side, so none of the players in our regular 11. Now Mila's on the backup team because he's been dropped since we got the 3rd midfielder back. Gross has gone back up front. And we haven't really got a right back, so Ben Godfrey, the experienced centre-half, is covering over there. And that means we've got Humberto Perez in goal, Godfrey, Henderson, Christensen at 35 now, and Ortega the back 4. Abdallah, a centre-half, back in from injury in midfield, alongside Arta, the experienced player 2. And then Serrano, Ramos and Rashford, the attacking midfield 3, behind Will Mila up front. A very tough test on the road coming up on Saturday. We need our first 11, so we've rested a few for this one. Alan Woodman needs a squad number. We'll give him 29 as he wanted one with a 9 in it. And there we go. Let's go and get into the game. Can we get off to a good start in the Europa League with our rotated side, to say the least? A few real players there. I've got to be honest, I don't recognise any of those names in the Slovan team, and I didn't expect to. So Bratislava are a bit of a sort of an unknown for us going into this. But let's go and talk to the boys. Serrano will be a winger on attack. Rashford an inside forward on support, where he's been brilliant off the bench. Godfrey will drop back a bit. He can just be a fullback on support. And hopefully that gives us a little bit more in the locker. I'll also drop the Mazzala to support as well for Abdallah. And I think as we get into the first half, this could be a good game for us. A chance to get some fitness, keep a few of the older boys who aren't first choice in and around the squad. And let's try and make sure we get a win as well. It's Chelsea v Slovan Bratislava. Let's see how we get on. And it's a goal kick for the visitors, just over 10 minutes on the clock and no real threat so far, but they've brought it down up front and this is probably a slightly alarming sign. They're playing it around really comfortably and they switch the play out to the left. Godfrey closing down and it's back to Salah, not that one. It's into the centre half. We're putting pressure on but it's a long ball over. Where's the defence gone? Marco 1-on-1, the offside flag eventually up but Christensen caught out. And that's an alarming sign early on. But we've got a free kick with Artur. We know technically he's brilliant. And he picks out Luke Henderson perfectly. The youngster, going to be a star in the Europa League. The only legs we've got left in the back four. And from Artur's wonderful free kick delivery, it is 1-0 to Chelsea and a perfect start. Ortega finds Ramos, the number 10. Switching to Abdullah. Only going to play till half time today. And he goes back to Christensen. Out to Ortega on the left. A chance to run down the wing. Apologies for the quick jump cut as we had an attack of the sneezes. As Ortega delivers, Serrano loses out, but Abdullah wins it back. Brilliant midfield play. Into the box. Rashford there, but the header's tame. It's straight at the keeper, and it remains just one, but we seem to have found confidence now. A long kick downfield. Held up, but Christensen does well. Finds Artur. Another one that might not make it to 90 minutes, but we need to get a few goals ahead first. Here's Ortega. On the left-hand side, pretty much unopposed. He's got two down the line, but goes back instead. And we're just building it really patiently. Ramos picks it up. Man on the right finds Abdullah. Out to Godfrey. He's got Serrano on the overlap, but chooses to cross in. Rashford back post, volleys in for two. And that's surely already this first match day over. A brilliant display, and Rashford has been a revelation. He's been brilliant off the bench in the league, and in Europe, he could be one of the key players. 20 minutes gone, Chelsea lead 2-0. And just 5 minutes later, we're back with another defensive free kick for our visitors. Jacko with a kick, that's going straight to Serrano. He nicks it, and we know he's got the legs. He takes on two, runs through into the box. Chance to shoot, just wide of the post. Probably should have done better there. Artur with a free kick again, 30 yards out. That was a sublime effort. Tipped onto the bar brilliantly by the keeper. But I tell you what, technically and mentally, he has not lost it at all. If he was still physically better, he'd be the best centre midfielder in the world. Here's Serrano, out to Godfrey. Serrano's with him still, but he finds Abdullah instead. Into the box, back into Ramos, it's 3. And this is looking like Men v Boys here. This is a fantastic performance. And I tell you what, we're feeling better about some of these backup players now. I know it's against weaker opposition, but this is the next 6 games in the Europa League. If we win these 2 and a couple of others, it's job done. 3-0 at half time. We need to take Abdullah off. We've mentioned him already. He was absolutely brilliant in that first half. But we need to rest him for the weekend. He's got his fitness in. Do you know what? Should we bring one of the younger ones on? Where does Cotton prefer to play? He prefers number 10. Woodman is preferring to be a striker. Who's got the biggest potential? I think Cotton has. And I think he's the youngest. And Baker in centre defence as well. But let's bring on Cotton for him. Can Ramos play central midfield? I'm guessing not. He can't, so he will stay there. And Cotton, do you know what? Mazzala on attack, let's let him get forward and let's see what he does in the second period. The one thing that is slightly concerning me this season is Will Miller, to be honest. He's not really looked comfortable despite being really well rated. He's had poor games quite frequently. As they've got a free kick at centre half to Salah, the left back. Serrano's not had a good game either actually. We might drop him to right back and see if he flies as a wing back. But Ben Godfrey's putting pressure on, loses out in a challenge but it goes back to midfield. Back to the centre half and we're pressing really well again. We forced it all the way back to the keeper with excellent play. Jacko clears long downfield, but it falls for another man. And I tell you what, Slovan Bratislava building this attack well, but we still keep forcing them backwards. And when it's one of these long highlights, you do wonder what it's going to end with. Normally a goal at either end. Majoras long forward, Godfrey intercepts, and here's Serrano. Can we spring the counter? The difference in physicality is startling, and the difference in discipline is startling. Salah's second yellow, we're now playing against 10, and Serrano should have an absolute field day there. Just over 25 to go, let's get some subs on. I think we need to be honest here and say this is game over. We've got a highlight to see off. Wasn't letting me make the tactical changes there, but we're able to do it now. So Serrano complacent, but there's tired legs at the back, so I'm going to rest Henderson. He's played a lot of games already this season due to injuries. James Baker will come on for him. And then who else can we rest? I think Artur in the middle deserves one. So he's going to be replaced by Woodman. We'll just play the 2 youngsters in there. There is no need for us to bring first teamers on. So Cotton will drop in as the playmaker on support. And then we'll have the Mazzala on attack as Woodman. They're the 2 we're going to make. 3 of the homegrown youngsters from the under-23s come in. None of them going to make it here long term, but they'll all get a night they won't forget. Jacko with a long ball downfield. The centre forward flicks on Kozak, but it falls for Henderson. He's got two on the left if he can find them. One is Rashford, the other Ortega. They exchange passes, and Ortega just charges into empty space. Rashford's running off him again. Probably another one we could have kept fit, but to be honest, he looks fit as a fiddle. Arta switches, Serrano flicks on, Will Mila scores! That's the goal we were looking for. Emiliano Serrano set it up. And to be honest, that's the result we were hoping for there. So I'm going to make some changes again to what we were planning to do. I'm going to put someone out to right back. Is it going to be Henderson? It is. Henderson out to right back. Godfrey into midfield. Baker will come on at centre half. That just means we get a rest then to Artur, who needs it. Godfrey's good as a playmaker. And then we will rest Rashford because we might need him at the weekend. So Woodman on for him. Robson Ramos out wide. He can do that in his sleep. He'll be a winger and he will be on attack. And Woodman prefers to be the shadow striker. That suits us down to the ground. Chelsea 4, Bratislava 0. And 20 minutes left to add to it. Free kick for Woodman on the right. Delivers into the box. Serrano heads just over. 2 minutes left. And I tell you what, it could have been 5 there. But not a bad day to start our Europa League campaign. I really feel like that's the competition we have to target. It's a great opportunity to win silverware. And as I said, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Europa League. The 3 we have to go for. We've beaten Slovan Bratislava. And now it's a much tougher test. Away at Anfield, we face Liverpool. Let's see how we get on there. It's fitness test time ahead of a massive trip to Anfield. And we've got a little bit of a dilemma here. Henrique Abdallah recommended 75 minutes. But if he starts in centre half, he's not coming off, is he? Let's be honest. Unless he has a stinker, of course. Or we're 4 or 5 up or down. So I think he might have to try and do 90. We've got a Carabao Cup game in midweek, so we'll rest him completely for that. And he'll get a week off then. So let's just get into it and see. We've basically changed the whole team again. So Abdallah is the only one starting who started in midweek. Aside from that, we're back to our first choice team. We've played around with some roles slightly to try and make us better at breaking teams down. So Mendes back to a winger on attack, Fatih an inside forward on support, and then Vinagre and Hakimi dropped to support duties as well. So we're looking quite confident and quite solid. We've got DJ Akobe in goal. We've got Hakimi and Vinagre the fullbacks with Abdallah and Al Jahoni centre half. I pronounce his name differently every time. I do strictly apologise for it. I've got Yepes in the Mazzala role with Harper alongside him. Mendes, Angerin and Fatih the attacking midfield 3. And then Zenek Gross up front on his own. Mila on the bench. And goals in the team if we need it. But can we hold firm at the back? Let's go and find out. 4-3-3 for the home side. A couple of players we recognise. Griffiths up front and Mega Money Man. Bentancur and Trent Alexander-Arnold still in there. There's certainly some real players and there's certainly some good players. But it's going to be a very difficult test on the road. So we need to ask the lads to prove a point. And we probably need an even better performance than we got against City. I realise I've just asked the lads to pick up where they left off. But that was alright as well. So let's see how we get on. First half we'll go and push forward like we did against City. But we'll drop to balanced if we need to. But the early signs are pretty promising. No highlights yet. 10 minutes gone. Free kick on the right for Mendes. I do worry if this is headed away though. And Orlando's picked it up really easily. And now Liverpool have spread. And look at us. We're caught in the middle. We're not getting back quick enough. And the older team getting caught out there. As Romano picks it on the left. 3-on-3. Romano beats all of them. He's got one centre half to beat. He shoots. Probably could have gone further. But it's straight at the keeper Giacobbe. And we're quite thankful for that. Liverpool on top. But there's not been many chances. So we'll keep as we were for now. Just 10 minutes to the break. Still only 3 shots in the match for Liverpool. None for us, but Vinagre's about to change that as he puts a free kick just over the bar. It's been 2 good sides cancelling each other out. It's essentially been a game of no chances. But Liverpool play out and they beat the press so easily again. And the left back's overlapping on the wing. He's got a man inside him in Torres. And we've got a man back behind him. But it's good pressing and Liverpool have worked their way out. Here's Bartle. Switches to Romano. Hakimi down. Griffiths with a brilliant effort. First time, it caught everyone out, but DJ Akobe somehow got there. Brilliant goalkeeping from the Italian. And Torres will deliver it. Into the back post, headed away. In fact, Harper misses it completely, and it's ended up being brought out of defence. But at half-time, we get our first shot on target, and we go in 0-0. A really decent display so far. So we'll ask the lads to prove a point. Might be the first game we don't win, but no problem if we get a result. And we'll see how it is for 10 more minutes, and then drop a little if we need to. Romano's off injured, so one player down for Liverpool. We've still got all 3 subs in the bank, of course. Yepes not having a great game. Mendes struggling, Gross struggling. There's a few poor performers there, but we're coming forward on the right now with Hakimi. Just 25 left. Anjorin's lost out, and we seem to be second to everything in truth. Griffiths gets it on that left wing. Hakimi challenges. Al-Jahani chases back. Needs to be careful here. Goes all the way back to DG Akobe. The goalkeeper plays out to Abdallah. Had a good game on his return from injury, and he finds Vinagre at left back. Don't lose it there. Oh, what are you doing? What on earth are you doing? Just passed it to Griffiths. Didn't even look. And another fabulous save by the Italian in goal. And we are very, very heavily reliant and thankful to him because we would be out of this game otherwise. Fatty heads away. Long clearance downfield. And Anjorin clears as far as Alexander-Arnold. We're going to drop to balance because we are getting caught out a bit now. We're going to ask the boys to show some passion. And with just over 10 to go, we will make some changes because it's not been the greatest display on the road. So we're going to do what we did for the first few games. Anjorin into midfield. He'll drop to a Mazzala on support just to give us more solidity. Yepes will swap with Gross. Gross will go into that number 10 role. And then up front will be Will Mila, hopefully the young hero off the bench. Mendes replaced by Serrano. Pace and bags of quality to come on. And looking nervous is Harper. So we're going to get 10 minutes of Artur in central midfield. Recovered well from Thursday night, it's got to be said. Played over an hour there. And let's see if he can keep possession for us here. Or will he get overrun in the middle? Here's Bartel on the left for Liverpool. Delivers to the back post. Abdallah heads away. Brilliant defending. Cabello picks it up though. And we forced them all the way back to the keeper. But Liverpool still in possession. And they find their centre half again under no pressure at all. They're beating the press easily and they've got it at left back. Overlapping is Godino on the wing. Beats the fullback. Brilliant block Hakimi. Back to the edge to Cabello though. Chance to shoot. It's blocked. Fatty away to Melo. He's got a man running off him. It's a 2-on-2. Gross is on the right if he can find him. Melo's going alone. Mila, going alone. It's back to Vinagre. Into Gross. Down to Fatty. He scored. Chelsea smash and grab on the break again. It is a carbon copy of the Manchester City game. Okay, we haven't defended as well and the keeper's bailed us out. But it is exactly the same in the last 10. On the break, the home team has to chase the game and we catch them out. But we're defending again here. Into the box. Al-Jahani hacks clear. Mila will chase down the centre half, but he ain't going to get there. And it's a long ball downfield to Godino. Crosses in. Good goalkeeping again. He has been man of the match for sure. I don't care what the ratings say. They always benefit the scorer. That goalkeeper has been sublime so far. And he rolls out to Al-Jahani. To Abdallah. We need his fitness to hold up as well. Fatty to Gross. He's got 2 running off him. He's going alone though. Into Serrano. It's 2. It is now an exact carbon copy of Manchester City. On the break with 10 to go, we have scored 2 brilliant counter-attacking goals. We are starting to look some side here. And I tell you what, I was so suspicious when the director of football sold the man. He sold Jude Bellingham and kept in the 2 wingers. But off the bench, we have not looked much more threatening. On the counter, we look sublime. And I tell you what, if we can hold on to this, it will be the perfect start to our spell. It's Fatty on the wing again to Vinagre. We're now growing in confidence. Gross finds Fatty. It could be 3. It's a great save. It is a brilliant save from Orlando. We are going from strength to strength here. And this could be any score we want at this point. Into 4 minutes of stoppage time. We've just got to make sure we don't give Liverpool a grandstand finish. As Vinagre's beaten, the cross is in. Hakimi and Abdallah, they can't get it away. Al-Jahani eventually volleys 50 yards. And Mila does really well to find the central midfielder. Artur to Vinagre. Keeping the ball well. Over the top to Mila. He's got support with him and he's going alone. I realise I'm probably getting louder and more excitable as Mila scores an unbelievable goal. He skins 2 off the left, he slows down, he stops him, and then he speeds round the corner, and he curls it into the bottom end of the post. The far corner is beating Orlando, and it is Liverpool 0, Chelsea 3. What on earth is happening? Serrano on the break. Can we get one more? Mila's got it on halfway to Gross. He's in 1-on-1. It could be 4. It's Gross. It's a great save. It's a 3-0 victory, surely. The whistle will go any minute. And that has got to be the best display we have produced by far. For 80 minutes, we were average, we were scrappy, we were dogged, we were fighting defensively. And we have come to life as Abdallah nearly scores a half volley from the edge of the box. Mila forces a great save from Orlando. It is relentless. Abdallah, Serrano, Gross. It's another great save. How is it only 3? With 10 minutes to go, Liverpool have pushed forward and we have completely capitalised on the break. The game turns on its head. It is Liverpool 0, Chelsea 3, and that is invincible. Every point on the board. 6 games, 6 wins, and a Europa League one as well. What a start against Steven Gerrard's Liverpool. A magnificent display. We'll go and praise Fathy, but let's be honest. DG Akobe kept us in that for 80 minutes, and then we came to life on the break. We just have to hold teams off for 0-0, and then as soon as we get a chance where they have to push the last 10, we then go mad. And what a fantastic result, and what a fantastic platform we've built ourselves. So I tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to try and play through the next month and a half or so. We've got a Carabao Cup tie. We'll have a second to add to that as well. We've also got 2 more Europa League games and another 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Premier League. And we will come back for the double-header there. Manchester United at home and Burnley at home. A side that we'll be competing with for the top 4 or 5. And a side that we've managed in this series before and are now managing in our Youth Academy Challenge. Surely the episode we have to come back for. If you're looking forward to that and you enjoyed those 2 brilliant displays, very different displays as well, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the performances of the team. I think we've struck lucky with this side. Of course, we're not going to win every game. We will have a sticky spell, and I still don't think we'll win the league. But the top 4 looks very good, and I'll be surprised if we don't compete for any trophies this year. Let's put it that way. If you haven't already and you're joining new along for the Chelsea part of the story, welcome to the channel. Please do subscribe down below for daily FM20 content. We've got a weekly live stream series, Cricket 19 and a stadium review every Sunday too. There's plenty to get our teeth sunk into on this channel. Please also give my podcast channel a try if you're a football fan. There's interviews with loads of different professionals, weekly prediction shows and a few topical podcasts too. And hopefully soon the return of matchday vlogs. Fingers crossed we can all go to football again soon. But what a fantastic spell it's been. Both channels going absolutely crazy. I'm really loving it at the moment. And thank you so much for your support across the board. I really hope you'll join me next time as we play our former side Burnley and a massive game against Manchester United. And let's hope their 2 performances and results as strong as those ones as we continue to make good progress with Chelsea. Thanks for watching.